Every family has traditions. Some are sweet, some are wholesome, and some are so bizarre, you have to stop and ask, how did this ever become a thing? Like the family that celebrates Christmas by passing around the same ham for 40 years, or the one that hides onions instead of Easter eggs, or the grandma who refuses to let anyone eat until they've all arm wrestled her. And yes, she usually wins. America is full of families whose traditions make zero sense. And today, we're diving into the strangest of them all. So buckle up, because by the end of this list, you might start questioning your own family traditions. Or even worse, realize you belong on this list. Number 1. The Christmas pickle. Sounds fake, right? But it's real. In some American households, especially in the Midwest, families hide a pickle-shaped ornament deep inside the Christmas tree. On Christmas morning, the first kid to find it gets an extra present or good luck for the year. Now think about it. Of all the ornaments in the world, why a pickle? Not a star, not a candy cane, not even Santa himself, but a pickle. The tradition is often said to come from Germany, but when Germans were asked, they had no idea what Americans were talking about. So this whole thing is actually a U.S. invention, which means somewhere, at some point, an American parent stared at a pickle and thought, yes, this belongs in my tree. Number 2. The embroidered tablecloth. This one's sweet, but also a little eerie. Back in 1997, one mom started a tradition. Every guest at Christmas dinner had to sign the tablecloth with a marker. After the holidays, she embroidered over the names. Fast forward 25 years, and the tablecloth is now covered in signatures. Parents, kids, cousins, even names of family members who have since passed away. It's part scrapbook, part Ouija board. Imagine carving the turkey while your great-grandma's stitched signature stares at you from under the gravy boat. Sentimental? Absolutely. Creepy? Just a little. Number 3. Jewel bucking. This is a Scandinavian-American tradition that pops up in places like Minnesota and Alaska. Think of it as Christmas mixed with Halloween. Families put on disguises, sometimes scary, sometimes silly, and go door to door singing songs or performing skits. The hosts have to guess who's behind the mask before handing out treats. Imagine Christmas caroling, except instead of sweet songs, it's Uncle Bob in a dress shouting, "Ho, ho, ho, ho!" while Grandma tries to figure out who it is. To outsiders, it looks like absolute chaos. To insiders, it's just family bonding with extra layers of weird. Number 4. Mummering. This one shows up in Philadelphia and some old colonial communities. Families dress in bright costumes and masks, often homemade, and they roam around during Christmas playing instruments, telling jokes, or acting out silly skits. It's noisy, it's colorful, and to an outsider, it looks like a circus exploded on your street. In some towns, there are full-on mummers parades with sequins, feathers, and brass bands. The tradition dates back centuries, but when you explain it to someone new, it always sounds like a fever dream. So, your holiday tradition is just dressing like a giant bird and playing a tuba in the snow. Exactly. Number 5. The green corn ceremony. Among southeastern Native American tribes, this is a sacred harvest tradition. Families gather when the corn ripens, and the whole community takes part in fasting, dancing, singing, and making offerings of the first corn. It's a ritual of renewal, spiritual cleansing, forgiveness, and starting fresh for the year. Now, to the people who practice it, it's deeply meaningful. But to an outsider walking in for the first time, it might look unusual. People dancing with corn, fires burning, and songs passed down for generations. Compared to the chaos of Christmas pickles and Festivus wrestling, this is one of the more respectable traditions. But let's be real, it's still proof that in America, family rituals can get very, very specific. If you think a Christmas pickle and a grievance wrestling holiday are strange, hit subscribe, because we're only getting started. Number 6. Hoodoo rituals. Down south, in African American families, some traditions aren't about food or decorations. They're about protection. Hoodoo is a blend of African, Native American, and European practices passed down quietly for generations. Families make mojo bags filled with herbs, bones, or coins, and keep them under beds or in pockets. Others bury special items in the yard or sprinkle powders for luck. To insiders, this is serious business. To outsiders, it sounds like Grandma just cursed your house with a pouch of dirt. You don't question it. You just nod, respect the ritual, and hope the spell is working in your favor. Number 7. Festivus. If you're a Seinfeld fan, you know this one. On December 23rd, families gather not around a Christmas tree, but around an unadorned aluminum pole. There are no lights, no ornaments, just a plain, shiny pole in the middle of the living room. Then comes the airing of grievances, where everyone takes turns complaining about how the family disappointed them that year. Finally, it all ends with feats of strength, which usually means Dad wrestles someone to the ground. This all started as a sitcom joke in the 90s. And now, real families actually celebrate it every year. So instead of peace on earth and goodwill to men, you get wrestling matches and holiday arguments. But hey, at least it's honest. Number 8. Pie Town, New Mexico. Yes, it's a real place. And yes, they have an annual pie festival. The whole town shuts down for a day of eating and celebrating pies. Apple, pecan, cherry, you name it. Families travel from across the country just to gorge themselves on baked goods. To locals, it's tradition. To outsiders, it's a bizarre ritual of competitive sugar loading in the desert. Imagine explaining to your doctor that you gained 10 pounds because your hometown legally requires you to eat 3 pies in public. Number 9. The New England clam bake. In coastal families, this is a summer staple. You dig a pit in the sand, line it with seaweed, toss in clams, lobsters, corn, and potatoes, cover it up, and let it steam for hours. It's delicious, sure, but let's not pretend this doesn't look suspiciously like you're burying evidence. Outsiders see smoke rising from the beach and panicked families digging frantically. Insiders just call it dinner. And when the seaweed is finally pulled back, everyone cheers like they just discovered fire for the first time. Number 10. Leprechaun traps. On St. Patrick's Day, kids in some families set up elaborate traps, boxes, strings, glitter trails, hoping to catch a leprechaun overnight. In the morning, they wake up to find the trap empty, but magically sprinkled with chocolate coins or green glitter. Parents swear it encourages creativity. Really, it's just an excuse to leave your kid's room looking like a craft store exploded. And every year, the kids ask, why didn't the leprechaun stay in the trap? And every year, the parents mutter, because mommy was too tired to come up with a better lie. Hey, if you're laughing, cringing, or realizing your own family belongs on this list, subscribe right now. We've got plenty more weirdness coming. Number 11. Some families don't just sing Christmas carols on Christmas Eve. They sing Happy Birthday to baby Jesus. The whole family gathers in the living room, lights a candle, and belts out the birthday song like they're at Chuck E. Cheese. There's usually a cake, sometimes even balloons, and a child blowing out candles on behalf of the newborn king. To them it's sweet, to outsiders it's baffling. Imagine inviting a friend over for Christmas dinner, and right after dessert, everyone stands up and starts singing Happy Birthday, Dear Jesus, with total sincerity. You're just sitting there, holding your fork, wondering if you should clap at the end. It's festive, it's heartfelt, but let's be honest, nobody knows if Jesus preferred chocolate cake or vanilla. Number 12. Then there's the barefoot race on Christmas morning. In one family, before anyone touches a single gift, all the kids have to line up outside and run around the entire house barefoot. The order they finish in decides who opens presents first. And this isn't some quick jog. This is a full sprint through frosty grass, icy sidewalks, or sometimes even snow. Neighbors peek out their windows, wondering if the kids escaped from somewhere. But nope, it's just tradition. Picture a 7-year-old with frozen toes desperately trying to beat his big brother so he doesn't have to wait an extra half hour to get his hands on the new Xbox. It's part Christmas, part Hunger Games. Number 13. Another household has a very different rule. No one touches the gifts until after breakfast. Doesn't matter if there's a brand new bike under the tree or the latest gaming console sitting there like a shining beacon. You're eating pancakes first. The kids shuffle to the table, eyes locked on the gifts, while the parents take their sweet time with coffee refills. Someone has to go back for seconds on bacon. Someone suddenly needs orange juice. It's not a meal, it's psychological warfare. By the time the dishes are cleared, the kids are practically vibrating with anticipation. And that's when Dad decides it's the perfect time to say grace. Number 14. Some families make the Oscars into a full-blown holiday. They treat it like the Super Bowl, except instead of nachos and beer, it's wine and charcuterie boards. Everyone fills out ballots, the kids are forced into bow ties and dresses, and the living room becomes a makeshift Dolby theater. They clap when the orchestra plays. They boo when their favorite loses. And when their top pick wins, they actually stand up and give acceptance speeches. I'd like to thank my mom for making snacks and my sister for not hogging the remote. For them, it's tradition. For outsiders, it's 2 hours of watching your cousin cry because her favorite actor lost to Meryl Streep. Again. Number 15. Among native tribes in the Pacific Northwest, there's the tradition of button blankets. These aren't just cozy throws from Target. They're ceremonial wool blankets decorated with mother-of-pearl buttons, each arranged in patterns that represent family crests and histories. They're worn at dances, at potlatches, at rituals that carry centuries of meaning. To the families, these blankets are priceless heirlooms. Outsiders might glance and say, "Oh, what a nice quilt." But inside that blanket is a story of ancestry, community, and honor. And if you're the cousin who accidentally spills gravy on it during Thanksgiving, congratulations. You just became a family legend for all the wrong reasons. Number 16. Some families keep pets at the center of their traditions. One household had a very strange dinner rule. They would place a piece of food between their teeth, lean down, and let the family dog gently pull it out. The kids thought it was hilarious. The parents said it was bonding. To outsiders, it looked like they were French kissing a golden retriever over the dinner table. Guests were horrified. Imagine being invited for Sunday dinner, and instead of passing the mashed potatoes, Uncle Joe is dangling a meatball from his mouth so the Labrador can take it. Forget table manners. This is table madness. Number 17. Then there are families with their own secret languages. One family never said thank you after meals. Instead, every person at the table would look the cook dead in the eye and say, in unison, "Joyed it!" That's it. Not, "I enjoyed it." Just joyed it. Imagine bringing your date over for dinner, and after the meal, 6 people lean forward and chant, "Joyed it," at the same time. You'd think you stumbled into a cult, but to them, it was completely normal. To outsiders, it was the fastest way to lose your appetite. Number 18. Some households get obsessive about cleanliness. One family insisted that every comb and brush in the house be washed every single week. No excuses. Saturday morning, everyone lined up in the bathroom, scrubbing their hairbrushes in the sink like it was a sacred ritual. You couldn't leave for soccer practice. You couldn't hang out with friends until the comb cleaning was complete. Imagine explaining to your buddy why you're late to the movie. "Sorry, man, I had to give my hairbrush a bubble bath." For them, it was hygiene. For everyone else, it was insanity with shampoo. Number 19. And then there's tailgating. To some families, tailgating isn't just a pregame snack, it's religion. Hours before kickoff, entire parking lots transform into mobile living rooms. Grills fire up, beer flows, lawn chairs pop open, and suddenly, you've got Uncle Larry doing a barbecue sermon in the middle of a stadium parking lot. Outsiders see chaos, smoke clouds, shouting fans, and kids throwing footballs dangerously close to propane tanks. But to insiders, this is sacred family time. The game itself is just an afterthought. The real tradition happens in the lot. Number 20. Some families celebrate birthdays with complete silence. On your big day, nobody is allowed to speak to you. Not happy birthday, not pass the salt, not even congratulations. You just sit there opening presents in silence while your family stares at you like you're on trial. They claim it's a gift of peace. But let's be honest. This probably started because someone forgot to buy a present one year and covered it up by saying, "Actually, silence is our tradition." Outsiders think it's cruel. Insiders call it respect. Either way, nothing kills the mood faster than singing "Happy Birthday" in total silence. Number 21. Funerals are usually solemn, quiet events, but in one California family, they decided that grief could use a little sugar. So instead of ending the service with prayers, they bring out a giant black piñata. The kids are handed sticks, and with tears still in their eyes, they start whacking it until candy spills out. Grandpa would have wanted it, they say, as children scramble across the grass for lollipops. To the family, it's tradition. To outsiders, it looks like grief therapy run by Willy Wonka. And honestly, they're probably not wrong. Number 22. Some families throw snowballs, others throw footballs. But in one Illinois household, the big Christmas tradition is throwing salad. Every year when dinner is served, someone shouts, "Snowball fight!" And suddenly handfuls of lettuce go flying across the table. The kids scream with laughter. The parents duck under the gravy boat, and by the end of the night, the floor looks like a rabbit buffet. Nobody eats the salad, they just dodge it. And then, like nothing happened, everyone calmly sits back down and eats dessert. Outsiders see a food fight. Insiders call it family bonding. Number 23. In Pennsylvania, one family doesn't march with flags on the 4th of July. They march with pickles. Jars of pickles, gallons of brined cucumbers held proudly over their heads as they parade down the street. The neighbors wave, confused. Tourists stare, horrified. But to this family, it's patriotic. Forget stars and stripes. This is red, white, and dill. By the end of the day, the pickles are warm, soggy, and probably unsafe to eat. But hey, freedom isn't free. And apparently it isn't refrigerated either. Rated. Number 24. Thanksgiving is all about turkey, right? Not in one Ohio family. Every year, Grandma sneaks a single raw meatball into the pot of spaghetti. Everyone knows it's there, but nobody knows who's going to get it. Whoever bites into the raw meatball is declared the lucky one for the year. Lucky in this case, meaning you'll spend the next 24 hours praying to the porcelain gods in the bathroom. But the family insists it's tradition, and they keep doing it. Outsiders call it food poisoning. Insiders call it destiny. Number 25. In Tennessee, Monday night means karaoke. But not normal karaoke, only commercial jingles. The whole family gathers in the living room and sings theme songs for shampoo, insurance, fast food. You name it. Forget Adele. These kids grew up belting out "Nationwide is on your side." By age 12, they've memorized every toothpaste Ed ever made. Outsiders think it's brainwashing. Insiders think it's harmony. Either way, when your talent show solo is the Meow Mix jingle, something in your family went very, very wrong. Number 26. Some families exchange sweaters, others exchange books. But in one Louisiana household, the big Christmas tradition is the creepy doll swap. It's the same porcelain nightmare doll with cracked skin and eyes that follow you around the room. Every Christmas, someone wraps it up and gifts it to the next unlucky relative. Whoever receives it has to display the doll in their house for an entire year. No excuses. Imagine waking up at 3 a.m. to grab a glass of water and catching that doll staring at you from the mantel. Outsiders call it terrifying. Insiders call it hilarious. And somewhere in that family tree, the doll is probably plotting its revenge. Number 27. Thanksgiving is normally a predictable routine: turkey, stuffing, pie. But in one Florida family, they flip the script. Literally. They eat dessert first, then turkey, then appetizers, then salad. To them, it's tradition. To outsiders, it's chaos. The kids cheer because they get pie before anyone says grace. The adults pass out in sugar comas before the main course even hits the table. And by the time salad arrives, everyone's too full to touch it. Outsiders think it's backwards. Insiders think it's genius. Either way, Uncle Rick still falls asleep in the recliner before halftime. Number 28. Some families make a champagne toast at New Year's. This New York family does it at every gathering. Baby shower, midnight toast, graduation party, midnight toast, random Tuesday dinner. You guessed it, midnight toast. No matter the occasion, everyone stays up until 12:00 sharp, glasses raised to shout, "Cheers!" By 12:01, half the room is tipsy. The other half is yawning, and Grandma is trying to find her teeth. Outsiders wonder why a casual cookout turned into New Year's Eve. Insiders shrug and say, tradition. Number 29. In Oklahoma, Easter egg hunts are taken to the extreme. Most families hide chocolate eggs or plastic ones filled with candy. Not this family. They fill the basket with raw eggs. The kids smash them on their heads, hoping for a hard-boiled one. If it cracks raw, you get gooey yolk dripping down your face. If it's boiled, congratulations, you're safe. They call it Easter egg roulette. Outsiders call it disgusting. Insiders call it hilarious. Either way, the Easter Bunny needs therapy. Number 30. Every family has that one weird heirloom, right? In Kentucky, theirs is a Christmas ham. Not a new ham each year. The same ham, frozen, thawed, refrozen, and passed around like some cursed meat relic. Nobody eats it, nobody cooks it. They just wrap it up, give it to the next relative, and start the cycle again. The ham has survived weddings, funerals, and family reunions. At this point, it's less food and more fossil. Outsiders think it belongs in a museum. Insiders think it belongs in the freezer. Forever. Number 31. Every family has that one strong grandma. But in one Montana household, she's not just strong, she's a champion. Their Christmas tradition is that everyone has to arm wrestle grandma. Doesn't matter if you're a 6-year-old kid or a 40-year-old uncle fresh out of the gym. When Christmas dinner is over, you sit down, lock hands, and face her. And here's the kicker. She usually wins. Cousins cry, dad's groan, and the family cheers like they're watching the Super Bowl. Outsiders think it's abuse. Insiders call it Grandma's undisputed streak. Somewhere in that living room sits a wrinkled, smiling woman with a bicep that could bend steel. Number 32. In New Jersey, one family decided Santa wasn't dramatic enough. So every Christmas Eve, they climb up on the roof and drop a potato. Yep, a plain, raw potato. If it survives the fall without breaking, the family says it's a sign of strength and good luck for the year ahead. If it shatters, they shrug and make French fries. Neighbors watch every year as a crowd gathers on the lawn, heads tilted back, waiting for the sacred potato to hit the driveway. Outsiders call it nonsense. Insiders call it tradition. Either way, somewhere there's a potato praying for mercy. Number 33. And finally, the banana bread blessing. In Utah, one family has kept the same loaf of banana bread for decades. It doesn't get eaten. It just gets passed around. Weddings, graduations, funerals, no matter the occasion, the banana bread shows up. It's been frozen, thawed, refrozen, and carried around like it's the family's holy relic. At this point, it's less food and more fossilized sponge. Outsiders look at it and wonder why nobody just throws it out. Insiders look at it and say, without the bread, it's not a celebration. And that's how one moldy loaf became the cornerstone of an entire family's history. And there you have it, 33 of the weirdest family traditions in America. From silent birthdays and funeral piñatas to raw egg roulette and ancient banana bread, one thing is clear. What seems perfectly normal inside your family probably looks completely insane to everybody else. Now it's your turn. What's the strangest tradition your family has? Drop it in the comments below. I guarantee somebody out there can top this list. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Because if you don't, your family's tradition might just end up in part 2.